Cheers everybody, CV back, and excuse me, sorry about the ruffled hair, but I'm responding to Billy Hurst's thread about picking your 4 favourite albums of your birth year and 4 albums that you like from Billy Hurst's birth year, so check this out. Billy celebrated his 44th birthday just recently. I put a link below and you can check out that video. So this is my response to you, Billy. Great idea. Watching, I thought, yes, I've got to do this. So I've spent, I'm still on holidays, but I've spent the last few hours going through albums for my birth year, which is 1973, and just starting to look through yours for 1974. So let's just talk about 1973. And in honour of you, Billy, you did ask about also talking about 4 of our favourite maybe country albums, but as you know, I'm not a country man, but this is a genuine Australian Kubra hat, and I got this for Christmas for my lovely wife, so I haven't worn it yet, so this is the best opportunity, and I'm from Australia, so try and make it work. Thanks, Billy. So trying to round down 4 albums from 1973, the year I was born. It was tough. I had about 7 or 8. So just showing on the screen now some of the ones that just missed the cut for me, unfortunately. But I've got 4 great albums. Just picked, what I did is I selected 12-inch vinyl records in my collection here. I didn't worry about looking at CDs or cassettes, which I don't have a lot of, cassettes, etc. So pure vinyl this is. So in no particular order. Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd. It's Pink Floyd's 8th studio album, and recorded at the famous Abbey Road Studios. And the 2 great singles are Us and Them and Money. What does this album mean to me? The fortunate thing for me is, well, a lot of people say it's a great album, but they've heard it all the time on radio, they've listened to it all the time, but not for me. So for me, this is still a genuine excitement to listen to for me, because I haven't heard it that much. Yes, I'm quite familiar with all the tracks, the songs, the sounds, everything like that, but it's still a brilliant piece of work for me. Some cool facts about it. I think it was in the charts in the US for about 740 weeks now, and I believe it's sold around 45 million copies. Great things, they use a lot of tape loops, synthesizers, multi-track recording, that sort of thing, and even using some words from, I think, either some of the production crew or band members. They've brought in things from previous albums, previous recordings that maybe weren't used, and just fused it all in. I mean, absolutely brilliant stuff. Claire Torrey is the lady that features on the track Great Gig in the Sky, and I was just reading up a bit about her just before, and very interesting to think that although this is recorded in 73, apparently she was paid £30 at the time, but in 2004 she actually complained or sued that she had not received a contribution or a note on the record. So from 2004, any copies printed after then, there's a note about her contribution to that. So I guess that will enable her to get some royalties from that. So I found that very interesting. Next one is I found this at a thrift store for $3. Hadn't heard it before. Knew the artist, of course, and picked it up, and it's Inner Visions by Stevie Wonder. And although I heard bits about it before, it wasn't until this morning, I kid you not, this morning when I played this through, I put it on, I was like, whoa! The first song, Too High, absolutely amazing. The funk, the soul, the bass on it is just incredible music. I mean, every song, and right through side 1, and every song's a killer for me. Absolutely loved it. So Too High talks about drugs, then you go into Visions, which is basically just Stevie playing along. I think there's a piano in the background or something like that. I can't remember, but his voice is sweet. It's extremely soulful, and when I played it, I opened up the doors to the vinyl room, and the song just pushed through the entire house. It just resonated beautifully. Then you go for Living in the City, which we know, Living for the City, Golden Lady. The second song, second side track 1 is Higher Ground, of course, done by the Chili Peppers. So just incredibly made album, fantastic musicians. And just one side note about this, literally 3 days after this was released, Stevie was in a car, not driving, I don't think so, and just behind a truck and a log truck, and the log truck was swerving across the road, and logs rolled off and smashed through the windscreen, hit Stevie in the head. He was actually in a coma for 3 or 4 days. Okay, my third choice from 1973, fantastic rock and roll band, and let's just get straight to it. It's Houses of the Holy by none other than Led Zeppelin. What a killer opening. The song remains the same, side 1, track 1. It's just makes you want to get up. The guitar is kicking ass, the bass is fantastic, the drums, everything. So just an album really fires away straight off the back. So and then it followed by the Rain song. The Rain song is a real ballad. Interesting story about that is that it was actually George Harrison was talking to John Bonham, and George said, "Guys, you don't make any ballads." So they wrote the Rain song. It's a beautiful ballad of Led Zeppelin, and apparently there's reference at the first couple of chords in the song. There's reference to George Harrison's song, something in there. So I guess it's Led Zeppelin saying, "Well, here you go. You asked for it, here it is." And what a fantastic result for Led Zeppelin. For me personally, I saw Led Zeppelin, Page and Plant in about 1995, I think it was. I was listening to a lot of Led Zeppelin, and particularly this album. Songs like Do You Maker as well, and No Quarter. So listening to this, to me, sort of takes me back to around that time. I was at university, or just finishing university. I'd moved from one state to another, all that type of stuff. So it gives me memories around that time, which is great. As you know, this cover's been been a lot of controversy over the years. As you can see, but basically there was 2 siblings, two siblings that were photographed in black and white, and then the colour was brought in after the black and white shoot was done, and they went to a setting for about 10 days, day and night, I believe, to try and get the right light coming down. But it never happened. So that was the result. But, I did read that originally, I don't know why, but the front cover was of a tennis racket or tennis court, and Jimmy Page sort of took offence to that, thinking, nope, people might think we're making a lot of racket or something like that. So I'm not quite sure what that was about, but at the end of the day, a great choice. Great iconic cover. The next one, the fourth one for me from 1973, is Uriah Heep's The Magician's Birthday. Billy was actually released in 72 in November in the US and UK, but in Australia it was 73, so I'll take that as 73. I think I paid about $15 for this and absolutely loved it. I actually gave thought to myself, geez, I reckon if I was born in about 56, 55, 57, being around 16, 17 years of age when this came out, if I was, I would have been absolutely obsessed by this album and this band. In my previous videos, I've talked about Uriah Heep. I only discovered them in late 2016. Would you believe? It's true. And can't get enough of this album. Cannot get enough of it. As I explained earlier, the musicianship, the fantastic recording, the great bass playing. There's piano, there's synth, all this kind of stuff. It just blends absolutely. It's magic for me, and I haven't heard a lot about it, so I still can't get enough. A song called Rain, which is track 5 on side 1, and features David Byron's lead vocal, of course, and it's just him with a very simple piano background to his vocal. It's just brilliant. They go from sort of psych rock, prog rock. They're a British rock band, and then they come down just to. You can imagine this guy just singing on stage with the piano in the background. It's just beautiful, melodic. Okay, now we move to 1974, and Billy's video asked that we talk about 4 of our favourite albums from that year, 1974. So here's the first one I pulled out. It's James Brown's Hell. I absolutely love the cover design of this, as you can see. Absolutely fantastic. And look, I must admit, I'm not a massive fan of James Brown. I appreciate what he's done with his music and soul and funk, And I just had an opportunity to pick this up probably about a year and a half ago. I think I paid $20 for it, an original. It's very thick, yeah, beautiful condition, and just to have a James Brown, a cool funk looking record. I bought it without even knowing about it. So I had about 3 singles lifted from this, I believe, and it's classic James Brown, but really almost over the top soul funk as we got to know James about. Interesting thing is, I've just put this on the screen here, just coming up, and you'll see his when this came out in 74. You'll see his daughter. I think her name is Deanne. And this is an early live performance of the song Hell from this album. And just check out his daughter here, it's really cute. Okay, now my second album from 1974 that I like in my collection is Do It Till You're Satisfied by BT Express. And yes, this is a classic sounding soul, funk, disco 70s album by BT Express. And I think I paid about $7 for this. And I got it from a lady who had a bunch of similar records, which I bought all of them, including David Bowie and stuff. And she was working many years ago in the army for in the USA, I believe. I can't remember if I go back to front, because she's from England originally. But anyway, where she was working, a lot of the army personnel would bring these sort of albums across. So, and she managed to get her hands on some and kept them. So I bought them all off her. So it was great to get some soul funk like this, which I absolutely love. And this album was their debut album, BT Express. I think they ended up having about 4 or 5 albums out overall. And I think their most successful is this debut. They had a #1 song, which is this title track, was #1 on the R&B charts. And I think the other one reached #5, which is called Express. So, yeah, so if you like a bit of soul, funk, that 70s slight disco infusion there, you're going to absolutely love this fantastic album. Okay, my third album from 1974, this is a live recording. It was actually recorded, I believe, in late 73, but released in 74. And it's Lou Reed's Rock and Roll Animal. And you can see the tracks here. So as you can see, there's only, 5 tracks, I think. And about 80% of the tracks were from the Velvet Underground, or written by the Velvet Underground. Things like, White Light, White Heat, Heroin, etc. So, being a live album, you're kind of hesitant to what the quality's like, etc. And interesting, I first played, when I decided to buy this album a couple of years ago, I think I paid about $20 for it. I played it on Spotify digital first just to hear it. It was okay, but I mean, I bought it because it's just Lou Reed. But playing it on the vinyl is just so much better. So that really increased my experience and made me feel better, I suppose, partying with $20 when maybe it was questionable. But yeah, I'm happy with it because it's still that melancholy. Ness about it, and with those Velvet Underground songs that he's playing here, it's got that melancholy. It's got like psych, that that kind of infusion, and that live feel to it as well. So it's kind of it's a different. It wouldn't be my favourite from '74 for sure, but still iconic and a must-have for me. So that's Lou Reed. Okay, yeah, kind of sad this video is coming to an end. I've really thoroughly enjoyed preparing for this video, listening to my vinyl and making a selection there for Billy's competition. But here it is, the last one, the fourth record I'm going to present from 1974, one of my top favourite ones from '74. and it's Bad Company by Bad Company. These guys, this album made millions of sales, #1 in the US, and I think it was their only #1 album. And it's been noted as about the 46th, I think it is, the 46th highest selling album of the 70s, and truly deserve. What an unbelievable record. I picked this up from a record store a couple of hours away from where I live. They've sadly closed down now, like many others. And it was just fantastic, and I put my name on it because I've been looking for it for a little while, listening to their music on Spotify and what have you, and to pick this up. I mean, it's just a brilliant recording, well recorded, engineered, and just sounds brilliant on the turntable, a lot better than the digital. The big hits, of course, is Can't Get Enough and Bad Company. Can't Get Enough for me, growing up, I heard it every now and again on the radio. It was quite a big radio hit, but Bad Company I never heard at all. And then you know, I heard that song a few years ago and was playing it a lot a couple of years ago. And another reason why I really wanted this album. So, but again, when it's a killer album like this, it's got all the rock and roll elements of a hard rock album of the 70s. Alright, Billy, well, thanks. I've really enjoyed it, as I said, and I hope you like this video and others out there. Again, not my normal look, but something different, eh? Anyway, cheers out.